are part of NGSE Sports, guys. Remember the website. It's ngsesports.com for all your current sports content. There we go. I think I'm finally on here. Not 100% sure. Yeah, there we go, guys. Okay. Welcome in, guys. Welcome to the Walk Report. We're a part of NGSE Sports, guys. Remember the website. It's ngsesports.com for all your current sports content. We are also a part of Mancini Media, the Game Winner Sports Network, the Snowman Multimedia Sports, and the Game Winner Sports Alliance as well. Welcome in, guys. Happy Thursday. Hopefully everyone out there is enjoying their week as we draw closer. Today here in Florida, my county, and in Hillsborough County was the first day of school. And we will have one of the guys that helped me get my announcing gig that I will be doing 2 weeks from tomorrow for the first time. So we'll be having Josh on later on. We are sponsored. We have two sponsors, guys. We have creatingzenspaces.com. It is the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida, for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. Guys, remember, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. We are also sponsored by funwags.com. Born from a near tragedy, as a Funwags mascot got a bad store brand treat. So the idea was to go home and create our own. So we did that. Now we have a dog treat that you can pronounce, 3 to 5 ingredients you can pronounce. And guess what? The mascots at funwags.com want everyone out there to have good treats for not only dogs, cats, and rodents. They're available for all three. So because our fur babies deserve the best. Welcome in, guys. Let me bring in my 3 co-hosts before I bring on our guest this evening. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
There we go.
Sorry about the minor delay there.
Yeah, that's okay. I was putting things together.
Right.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, Joe.
I missed you on my show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was asleep until 5:30.
Yeah. At least my problem has now been taken care of.
Mitigated?
I mean, yeah. Well, I kind of felt like Marvin the Martian, with his problem, like, oh no, someone stole my space bucket, and that creature stole my space bucket. Like, that's what it felt like.
There was supposed to be a kaboom. An earth-shattering kaboom.
Oh boy, things are going
All right, guys. Well,
not scripted.
Our guest, I'll bring our guest on, guys. This is the gentleman that helped me get my announcing gig. So I'll bring him on right now, guys. Josh, good evening, brother.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Josh?
How's it going?
Going.
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Hey, the feedback's really bad somewhere. All you hear is feedback.
man.
So.
Oh yeah. I can hear it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the feedback is coming from.
Yeah, it's pretty loud, but it's all good, man. We're here now, so.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
Ah, there we go.
There we go. Oh,
Better?
There we go.
All right,
Better?
That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better, yeah.
Yep.
That's a little better, not much.
Nothing at all.
We'll do this Zoom style. If you're not talking, hit mute. Oh, it solved it. It worked.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
Not too much. How How was the first day, Josh, of going back to school today?
So, man, the kids, it was kind of their kids, right? So we got to remember that the high school boys. It was interesting for me to see them after a week and a half of long, hard work camp, football camp, kind of just adjusting to that middle of the day heat instead of that evening heat, and understanding that for the next few months, they better get used to going to class and waking up early and then going to work out. So for the coaches who work on campus, they said it was a good day and kids getting acclimated to stuff. It was a first time for me, man. My son's 3 years old, and today was his birthday and his first day at school. So it was weird to be the dad. I usually work at the school. This time I had to be the dad. So it's a cool experience, man.
That's cool. That's cool. So, again, Josh, I was telling these guys that you were the reason why I'm doing the Pinellas Park gig in a couple weeks. Kind of a funny story. Josh, I met Josh a long time ago through Zach at Fit Camp, and I remember meeting Josh, and Josh, has his family and he's a coach and stuff. So we got back, and come to find out, I think I posted something about that I was looking for something to do with announcing, and Josh mentioned me on Facebook that my alma mater, Gibbs High School, was offering a position for basketball. So I tried to get in touch with the AD at Gibbs, and he never got back to me. So Josh said, hey, we have a football gig available. I said, I'll take it. And that's the long story of that one, but that's the reason why.
Yeah, man. One thing we want to do at Pinellas Park High School, and for those who don't know, our head coach is Max Smith. He replaced Ken Crawford, who was there for 13 years. One of the things we want to do and really get honed in on is letting people know that, Pinellas Park football is community, and community is Pinellas Park football. So to be in a place where we can have someone in our community come and announce our games and actually be passionate about it and actually care about, what it sounds like and what it looks like. And those things are important to us as we strive to build the program into a brand that, why not Pinellas Park football?
Josh, I have a question for you real quick. I have a sports network that Brad's a part of. Would it be an issue if he lets the listeners know that they can watch our shows when he's announcing the games?
So, man, that's a great question. Let me get with the higher ups. There's a higher pay grade than me in certain places. So let me see what the logistics on that are. I know there's some restrictions as far as live streaming or certain things that we have to avoid at the high school level. So let me get with the head coach and our admin or whatnot, kind of tell them what we want to do. And then I'll get back to Brad or yourself and relay the answer to that. That'd be really cool, though, if we can, though. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be.
Also, it would be putting the Pinellas, it would be putting y'all's high school name out there, and it would be helping the network also. So it'd be like helping both sides of it.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, that'd be awesome. That's something we want to do, is get our name out there to the place where people know who we are. It seems like winning just isn't enough. We've been able to win a few district titles, and last year we were the only back-to-back district champs, and somehow I guess we're still the sleeper team and nobody believes in us, and that's okay. We like it like that. We'll be the villains if that's what needs to be done. So, but I appreciate the offer, man. That's great. That's huge.
And also, I know down here in Texas, high school football is next to religion.
Hey, man.
How's it up there?
For our coaching staff, football's a religion. I don't know if it is for everybody else in the county or everywhere else in Florida, but the way we operate at Pinellas Park, especially for our head coach and his energy and what he brings to the team and staff. I'm an alumni of Pinellas Park High, so it's not just coaching, it's putting on for the place I graduated from and place I played on and really just continuing history. So we got a coach on staff who grew up in Texas, and so he's been talking to us about what two-a-days are like in Texas and shutting down the local town to watch a football game. And hey, man, that's what we're trying to get done here in Pinellas Park. When there's a game on Friday nights at Pinellas Park, trying to get everybody to shut it down and come on down the road and watch some Patriot
That's the way
football.
it is down here in Texas on Friday nights. If you go through a small town, forget it. You ain't gonna find nothing open.
Yeah, man, that's the way it should be.
Well, you don't call a Friday Night Lights for nothing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a little bit in high school, and I remember those tour days. Oof, I hated them.
I imagine.
120-degree weather isn't always fun.
I'm telling you, in full pads.
How do you handle that?
These the kids in this generation have no idea.
Well, how do you handle that in the heat? Because, you know, if you're exposed to that kind of heat, that can do some damage to you. So how do you handle that? 120 degrees in August. Well, 105.
So we say 105 like or 120 just to like kind of that's what it feels like, right? But
right.
The cool thing is about us, man, is that, you know, we've been put an opportunity where some of our coaches have coached at a high level. Our head coach had the opportunity of coaching in college for a period of time, and he played at a high level. And man, we're huge on our players' safety and making sure they're getting water and refilling those waters. And if anybody's watching and want to donate some water, let us know. We'll appreciate it. We'll take it. So
we're playing Alaska.
Yeah. No, I don't know about Alaska. It's too cold. I'll take the heat. I don't know about
Not
no cold.
This time of year, no. This time of year.
Down here in Texas, the way they do it is they do have the 2 days, but it's from like midnight to 6 a.m. when it's cooler. Then they send the players home, and then they come back again later in the evening when it's cooler and do it again.
Yeah, no, that's okay. At 3 a.m., I'm trying to sleep, so you guys can have
it. You couldn't catch me at that time. Nope.
I could just figure it out. Okay.
No. Can I be honest with you? I'm looking forward to a couple weeks from now. I can promise you this right now. I will be a nervous wreck all day. I'm telling you that right now. until I get up there, and I gotta make sure I know the 2 times I've done it. And it's quite a coincidence that I did it last year when Pinellas Park was playing Northeast, and the guy that I met, Dexter, who is also a fellow USF writer with me, got me to come, and then lo and behold, now I'm going to be calling games for the team that I was there to announce against, and now I'm going to be the
how'd that turn out for you, Brad? How'd that game turn out?
You guys won in the end. You guys won in the end of it. You guys, and then the funny thing about that game is after the game had rained, they were on the field doing rain angels on the field. It was cool.
Look, it was cool. Look, if you don't want people to dance on your field, win the game. That's what our head coach said. No, listen, and that was a great game, right? That was a battle, right? It was raining, all kinds of stuff. Northeast is a good football program. They're one of our new district rivals in the last couple of years. They're putting in work, but like we like to say over here is at the end of the day, you got to go through the park. So we'd like to say that after that game last year, not only did we win the district title and the only back-to-back district champs in the county, we took their announcer too. So that's how that works. I'm just playing.
That's true. No, that's true. That's true.
Hey,
like I said, I'm a gladiator, and the cool thing about this season is not only am I going to be calling the Northeast game, but Gibbs is also coming to Pinellas Park. So I'll be calling a game against my alma mater while I'm calling a game for the Patriots. So that'll be kind of interesting to say the least. But yeah.
The only thing I hate about the workouts down here that my coach made us do was run the bleachers.
Yeah.
The up downs on the bleachers. You run up, then turn around, come back down the next section, then back up. You had to run the whole stadium bleachers.
Well, yeah, that's because you guys don't have regular bleachers. You guys got like 30,000 fan stadiums for high school football.
Right.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah, but those bleacher seats are no fun.
Those are no fun. Full beer? No.
I don't know. I like old school bleachers, hot dog on a Friday night, cold Coke. That's just That's just right. There's
Well,
something
that
right
part's
about
fine.
Hey,
that.
well, if that's the case, come on down to Pinellas Park High School, man. Our concession stand is legit. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you, we're
Oh, yeah.
legit.
I mean, sitting in those seats is murder.
Yeah, but
Just get a little cushion. Bring a pillow with you.
I'll bring food
it's supposed to be just the way it's supposed to be, though. In
Hey,
my
talk to him.
opinion.
Talk to him, Adam. Let him know.
Uncomfortable?
You know, like, yeah, I mean, it's $5 for a football game. I mean, it's not supposed to be the Ritz.
Hey,
You know, I would like if I'm paying $250. You know, if I'm paying $250 for NFL tickets on the 50-yard line, then I expect to be wined and dined. But if I'm going to a high school game and these kids are just out there playing football, having fun, I don't expect luxury. There's just something right about a bleacher seat on a Friday night in September. There's just something right about that.
hey, our food is cheaper and better than that $250 ticket. By the way,
Probably is.
You spend $250 at our concession, I'll take care of you. Hey, Bradley, I know there were some things you wanted to talk about, man. A couple things you wanted to get into, man. Let's go ahead and get after it, man. Unfortunately, guys, my time's a little bit limited. I got a baby girl born 2 weeks ago, and my son's birthday's today too. So yeah. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys.
I bet you should.
Yeah, Josh, go ahead. You wanted to get into. I know you had been talking to me on the phone before we got on the air, so go ahead and fire away with what you wanted to talk about. I know there were some things that you wanted to kind of bring to the limelight a little bit.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, honestly, like, so we're talking high school sports, we're talking youth sports, we're talking team sports, and one of the biggest things, you know, Bradley and I were talking about, and we can chop it up a little bit on this call, is, you know, parent involvement and then the lack of parent involvement, right? Like, I think, you know, Adam made a very good point. Like, they're high school kids. It's some rough bleachers. It's hot dog and a Gatorade. Like, it ain't $250 a ticket. It ain't $1 million games. But some parents like expect that. And so a program can only grow to where they want to go with the involvement of the parent. Sometimes it feels like coaches are like dads, man. Like sometimes it's honestly like coaching is bigger than just a game, right? Like, so I'm involved in church ministry, and I always say that football is sports ministry. It's a part of who I am and an extension of ministry. But at the same time, like, you find those parents who they want this or they want that. And it's like, yo, what, like, did you go to the last parent meeting? When was the last time you came and watched practice? Like, the same parent who's mad at the kid or mad at the coach hasn't even been to a game yet. Yeah. So, like, Bradley and I were just talking about, you know, that parent involvement and the lack of it, and how a lot of people miss the mark, or they miss the idea of what's needed as a program because they expect or assume that, hey, those coaches got it or the schools got it. And the reality is that's not the case at all, man. Like, if I can make a pitch here tonight, any business program or anything else who wants to sponsor the program, we'll take it. We got 100+ players, man, and we're balling on a budget. So we had to order new uniforms. We got to pay for those out of fundraising. But then the parents want to know why we're not offering certain stuff or doing certain things, but they're not involved. So the lack of parent involvement usually leads to the lack of production in some ways as far as growth as a program, because there's not enough hands. There's not enough help. So Bradley and I were talking about that, and I told him I'd be fine talking about it and discussing it with you guys a little bit.
Oh, well, I'd like to follow up on that, and you know, the over involvement of parents in the football game. You know, like they don't want to be at practice. They don't want to be at the fundraisers. They don't want to be at the winter meetings when, you know, football's done and we're getting ready for next, it's December 2023, and the football team is having a meeting. Okay, these are the kids that are graduating. These are the new kids that are coming in. Hey, let's meet the parents. Let's get to know them. Let's see what they're thinking. But they're there on Friday night to scream at the refs, to scream at the coach, to tell you how to do your job, because they've watched an NFL football game. They know what they're talking about. They played Madden. And
Adam, Adam, you know something.
their fantasy team is 12-0 and has been 12-0 for the last 13 years running. I'll have you know. I know what I'm talking about. And yet they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the legwork to actually get to know the intricacies of being not just a football coach. Like Andy Reid is a football coach. Andy Reid isn't a mentor. Andy Reid isn't a these are grown men he's dealing with. Jim Harbaugh, these are grown men that he's dealing with. If you can't hack it, that's no big deal. They're not 16-year-old kids pumped full of hormones and just trying to figure out how to get through life and want to play football and have fun. And you talk about the parents not being involved enough. Yet, and then there's the other parents that are so over involved in their kids' football career because they see them as a payday. Right? He's a 16-year-old kid. He's got some potential, and you're driving him into the ground. You make him want to quit.
Yeah, that's huge too.
Yeah.
Like that parent involvement being overly involved in the wrong way. So like, yeah, I agree with you as well too, man. It's the best coaches are in the stands on Friday night, right? Like everybody. Why did he call that play? I don't know, because we practiced it for 4 days and it worked 17 times. So we thought it would work the 18th time. But your son, the one that you're yelling about, missed his block. But that's my fault.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Come on. What are we talking about?
Surprised me, half the coaches don't turn around and tell the parents to shut up.
That's Josh. That's what I liked about the spring game that you guys had me call. That was kind of like, you got to see your offense and your defense and see what you guys had. That was, there were people in the stands, that night, but no one was yelling at the referee. But still, it was kind of cool to see you guys, develop and what you guys, I know you didn't show the whole playbook, obviously not, but it was kind of cool to see some of those plays. I mean, the one trick play that the team that you were coaching against pulled off was pretty damn cool. But I mean, you're right. It's Adam's right. You either have the parents that don't care and then blame you when their kid doesn't get to play, or the parents that are too involved and want to know everything and why their kid isn't getting playing time because he didn't do this or didn't do that. So yeah, you have a
look, and I go off of what Adam just said too, like living through your child as your career, like that's a problem. We see it in youth sports all the time in Little League. I move my kid here or move my kid there because he promised this or he promised that. It's a nightmare, right? Guys are getting recruited from other schools. Parents are shopping their kids around, trying to figure out what's their best fit. And what they're really doing is they're crippling them, because in life, that ain't how it works. You either make it or you don't. You either work hard enough to be the guy or you don't. You don't just get to shop around and try and figure out. Like, you got to do what you got to do to make it how you're going to make it. That's number one. The second thing is, when you really look at it, like, the biggest thing for me is those parents who are delusional. Can I talk about it for a moment? Like,
great.
Everybody ain't a D1 athlete, big dog. Everybody ain't J.J. Watt. Everybody ain't going to be the defensive tackle in the NFL. Your son weighs 165 and he's 5'5". Like, be happy he's on kickoff. Like, and I'm not saying nothing against size, because we had an all standout offensive guard 2 years ago, all county, all standout, and he was 5'7", 5'8", $165. I'm not talking about that, but guess what he did? He worked. He worked to own his position, and he dominated his position. So guess what? He played. But this idea that, oh, my kid is a D1 kid or a D2 kid, what you're really doing is hurting that kid, because when he doesn't get that D1 offer, when he doesn't go Division I, or he doesn't play college ball at all. Some kids play football and they don't even want to play football. Like, they're just on the team because their dad is making them or their mom is making them. And it's like, yo, there's like a million other things to do in this world besides football. Like, we'd love to have you on the team, work hard. But, like, understand that your kid might grow up to be a pilot or the owner of a restaurant or a mechanic. Like, everybody's not going to go to make millions of dollars in the NFL. It's just not a reality. But so many people paint this picture to kids like Santa Claus and Christmas. Like, at some point, you got to cut the delusion out.
Well, they see it as a meal ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
They're absolutely gonna ride it to the end, and then they wonder why their kid is 35 and doesn't want to talk to them.
Right, because your kids are not meal tickets. You gotta remember that.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, oh, my son's gonna get me out of here. My son owes me money. Or when my son makes it, he'll cut me a fat check, or my son's gonna put. You know, the other thing is too, like, ever since last year, I've been like more frustrated. Like, and I'll explain to you why. Like, everybody doesn't get to play the game. It's a great game. It's the greatest game ever devised by man. That's just my opinion. It's a team sport. 11 guys in every unit.
Yeah.
It's great. But everybody doesn't get to play. So when your son gets to play, or in 2023, if your daughter gets to play, they're on the field, and things aren't going well for them, or it's not the best situation, or they're not winning their spot out, just encourage them to work harder, or to be grateful that they're even on the team. You know, like, one of the hardest things for me to like swallow was my son last year. He's all good. He's doing well, thank God, but he had to have brain surgery. And one of the hardest conversations I had to have as a coach with the neurologist was, he's not going to get to play football.
Oh.
That was tough. That was like hard to swallow.
Yeah.
But the reality is everybody doesn't get to play football. So if your child's on a team, why not support the team and support your child to continue to move up, continue to work hard, continue to earn your jersey? See, the problem is we've lost the mindset. We want to work to get on the field, but you should be working to earn your jersey. Earn the right to be on the team. Put in the work. I had an old coach who used to say, earn your chicken. Like, you don't get a pregame meal if you don't go hard at practice.
Just like Herb Brooks told the Miracle on Ice team, play for the logo on the front of your jersey, not the one on the back. Worry about what's on the front of your jersey, not what's on the back. You're playing for a team. You're not playing for yourself. You got to be more of a team player. And like you said, sometimes you have to work your ass off. You got a freshman coming in that's quicker, faster than you. You got to work your tail off to keep that position, because that's what happens. And if you work your butt off and you get the spot back, if you don't, then you got to take a back seat and keep working your butt off to get your spot back. But you're right. Not everyone can play football. I mean, me personally, I love the game. I've never played it down in my life, but I love football. It's my favorite sport to watch. I'm so looking forward to Friday nights with high school, Saturday nights, getting up 9 o'clock Saturday morning, putting ESPN on, watching College Game Day, going to USF games, in the near future. My first game is the 9th of September, so I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff. Right. Going to the Ray J, going on the field, watching players during warm-ups, going upstairs, talking to all the media guys, and getting to know these guys, getting to know the players and coaches. New coach this year with Coach Golish, so I'm looking forward to seeing what USF has this year. Do I expect them to win the conference? No. But we'll see what they do. Hopefully they win more than 2 games, because they have had it rough.
Hey, I'll openly say it right now. I'm a Golish fan, man. I had the opportunity to sit down and talk with him. Actually, our entire most of our coaching staff did at the clinic this past February in Orlando, and just to see his vision and where he wants to take the program. Golish is trying to do at USF what we're trying to do at Pinellas Park. Be a part of the community. Come to the park, play at the park, win at the park, stay at the park. He's come to the Bay, stay in the Bay, play in the Bay. So we're all in the same mindset of why not play here? So, and I think when you have the right coaches, that's another thing too. Like, dude, like, you got to vet your coaches. Like, some parents just let their kids go play under anybody, and they're wondering why their kid's not producing. And it's like, look who's coaching them. Like, if the coach isn't trying to advance and get better at the game, or the guy in charge isn't at a high level to where, because here's the thing, just because you played at a high level doesn't mean you can coach.
Yeah.
Like, let me say that one more time. Like, I'm going to say that again. Like, there's some guys who played at the next level that I'm willing to bet everything I own that if we went toe-to-toe in a coaching game, I'm out coaching the mess out of them. And there's some guys right now in status that got positions and stuff, which are great. But at the end of the day, what are you trying to do to level up as a coach? Like, what are you trying to do to get better? Like, what are you telling your kids? Like, if your kids know exactly what you know, I mean, two things are going on. Are you giving them more info, or have they caught up to you and now you got nothing left?
Well, that if I could brain it would help. What I was thinking, or what I was going to say is that what I was thinking earlier was that, and you have to remember I'm a high school football coach. If I could coach at college, I'd be at a college. I'm just a high school football coach. And that's what I can't, I'm not Andy Reid. I'm not going to turn your precious little baby into the next, Tom Brady. So calm down there, Slick.
Well, no, I think there's a difference there, right? So let me talk about that for a second. Like, but I think our goal should be the foundation of creating a Tom Brady. Does that make sense? Like, Tom Brady played high school football first, then he played college, then he went to the NFL. Like, he continued to grow and develop as he moved on. So, like, as high school coaches, if you have nothing to give the kids to help them develop and build the foundation, then where are they really leveling up from, right? Like, you got to have that strong foundation. So your players are only as strong as your coaches are. And so, like at the park, man, like I said, I can only talk about the park because that's where I'm at right now. And I'm blessed to be a part of the program. Like, it's one of the places where, like, I'll humbly say, like, and I don't say this braggadociously, but, like, there's some good coaches in the room. There's some studs in the room. And so the best part about it is we can talk football back and forth. But, like, there's other places, my man, where the only guy who really knows football is the head coach. And he's just got a bunch of assistants that are just kind of operators, and they're like managers, and they try to help. But they're not really pouring back into the game. And that's what programs kind of lack because they struggle a little bit. It's hard to get coaches. It's hard to get coaches. I'll say that again. I don't know about anywhere else, but in Pinellas County, it's hard to get coaches.
No, and I'm sorry, I wasn't like taking a shot at a high school coach or high school coaching. I understand that it's very, very hard, and I wasn't flooding a high school coach.
No, you're good. I get what you're saying. You're good. No love off. You're good.
No, yeah. It's just that so many parents think that their kid's the next Tom Brady. Well, I can't make your kid the next Tom Brady. I'm just a high school football coach, and at the end of the day, I have so much more responsibilities than a Lloyd Carr, because that's who was Tom Brady's head coach when he was at Michigan, right? Lloyd Carr his job is to make Tom Brady into Tom Brady, but it's also Tom Brady. Tom Brady's got to want to be Tom Brady. If Tom Brady doesn't want it, if your son, your daughter, your non-binary, whatever it is in 2023, don't want it, they ain't gonna get it. And just as much as wanting it, you also have to have it. There's so much. Want can only get you so far. You can want with your entire heart, but if you ain't got the talent, you ain't got the talent. And a man has got to know his limitations.
You got to work for it too. You got to put in work.
And you can put in the work. You can put in all of the work, and you just, there are going to be people who are better than you, and you've got to
guy.
There's always another guy. There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, so guys, I wanted to do this. I know Bradley opened up the door, and so I just kind of want to talk high school football for a moment in P County and kind of help Bradley a little bit as he's coming into the season. Man, Pinellas County football, a lot of history. Here's one for you Texas guys. You ready? No one's ever won a state title from Pinellas County, ever, in Florida, ever. Some have been, some have gotten real close, but no one has ever won one in Pinellas County. So the first goal is win district titles, win playoff games, and then hopefully make it to the show. And it's tough. It's not an easy one. Some people got these fantasy ideas out there that they can just go recruit every kid in the county and build a super team and that it's just going to work. But oh no, there's some good teams down there in Miami, big dog, and then up north Florida. So we'll see how it plays out. But
what Adam, I'm going to elaborate on what Adam was saying about the parents hollering and complaining to the coaches.
Yeah, no
if
doubt.
The parents can coach the team better. Why? How come they're not out there coaching?
Because they can't. Because they can't.
They won't. Or they won't. Just as much as can't as won't.
Because they can't. I'm going to say it again. Yeah. I'm going to argue with anybody because you can't. Because you can't come stand out here from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. in 120-degree feel-like weather and run kids and train them and build them up. You can't take away time from your family and dedicate it to watching film. You can't take away the time that it takes to get in the playbook and meet with coaches. You just can't. And because you can't, you think it's cool to just get up in the stands and talk. And what parents don't realize when they do that is, do you understand how weird it is for your kid that you're the mom or you're the dad in the stands yelling? That's number one. Number two, do you understand how bad of a picture it paints? I let you play at this school. I support you playing football. But on Fridays, I bash the coaches who spend more time with you than I do every day. Because that's what they do. Yeah, I'm willing to argue that our coaches, and not just us, I mean most high school coaches, especially in our county, spend more time on a weekly basis with our football players than their parents and families do with their kids. That is fact. Yeah. But they're quick to get up in the stands and he doesn't know what he's doing. He's terrible.
I'm looking forward to hearing those parents because I'm sure I'm going to be hearing them from where I'm at. So I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, Bradley, when parents start doing that, just get on the mic and be like, that coaching staff has more wins than any of y'all sitting in the stand.
Well, I was just going to say that the team that's I grew up 15-minute bike ride from Pinellas Park. I grew up near Skyview Rec Center. I've lived in Pinellas Park all but 2 years of my life. I just moved to Clearwater. Just left
Skyview. I grew down the block, baby. Yeah.
So I grew up in the park. But the team in the state of Florida that every high school team striving to be, there you go, is St. Thomas Aquinas. They're up in northern Florida.
Cowboys.
They're the team that everyone chases every year.
If you don't throw that away, coach, I'll take it.
But I honestly, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. A couple Fridays from now, I can't wait to be there, and I'm very humbled for the opportunity. In a couple
yeah, man. High school sports in Florida is all over the place. St. Thomas was a top-tier program, and they still are. They haven't been as dominant as they were in the past. And then you got teams like Chaminade Madonna in the South and Central High in Miami. Obviously, you got the mega big dog IMG, who does what they do in Sarasota. They're not even a true high school. They're just a recruiting team and do what they do. But they got millions of dollars to do that. So whatever. Billions at this point because they just sold for $1.8 billion. But for us, our schedule's jam-packed with county schools. So at our fall classic next week, we play Parish Community. It's a team in Sarasota area. They're out of county. So for us, what we're trying to do is just put our kids in a position to compete at a high level. And hopefully that'll trickle down into us doing what we did last year, winning another district title, putting kids in college, continuing to move them. Guys, we as a program, we're in a weird place, but a good place. So last year we struggled in some games. We only had one senior on the O-line last year. The rest were all sophomores. We had one junior who hadn't played since he was in 7th grade up front in the O-line. We had some key pieces graduate. We were still able to pull it out. And then this year coming back, we're still a little young. Those sophomores coming back, they're going to be juniors. We got a solid running back. Actually, if you guys get off of here, please vote for Marion Triplett, our running back on Primetime Prep Sports for top running back this year. He had 262 on the ground with 33 carries in a spring game. Yeah, look at those Texas eyes. Yeah, you heard it. We have 494 of offense in the spring game. We just kind of put some things together. We quote unquote technically lost in the overtime. Two things. Bradley, you were there. He didn't catch that slant. You saw it from his booth. Don't even play me.
Come on. He caught it.
I got film from 3 different angles. He didn't catch it.
Josh was coaching the red team and the blue team once. So that's why he's bringing that up. That's why.
You're talking red and blue. I'm talking about spring game.
Oh, okay.
Against Braden River, overtime. Gotcha. They threw a slant. Didn't catch it, but the rest wanted to get out there. It's whatever. We wanted to go overtime. The other team didn't. Whatever. It's all good, man. We're just trying to win, man. And I think when we say win, people misconstrued it with going undefeated, which is super hard. Damn near impossible. But if you do, good for you. But for us, winning isn't just about on the field. We want our kids to graduate. You got teams out there who go deep in the playoffs, got a bunch of players, but they don't graduate. So what was the point of that?
Right.
You got teams who don't keep their players up and leave and transfer to other schools every year. You got teams who have players who transfer there to play and then sit the bench. There's just so many pieces for us. We want to win as a program. That means in the classroom, in the weight room, on the practice field, and then hopefully on Friday nights. Man, our JV program was solid last year. They were 7-0. That was the first time we had a North-South County championship, and we were actually be able to be in it. We actually played against Gibbs. They were 7-0, and we were 7-0. They represented the South. We represented the North. Not going to lie, they came down and beat on us a little bit. Okay, so you can have that JV championship, Bradley. But we're trying to come back and go after. We're trying to get after it again. So
because the varsity team for Gibbs last year sucked, so that's okay. You can guys.
Hey, look. I'm not going to talk bad about nobody's varsity or nothing. I'm just, you know what I mean. I still got to go back to coaching tomorrow. So, but no, I think for us, because Bradley wanted me to highlight a little bit about what we do differently. I think one of the biggest things we do differently is we educate across the board, not just the classroom academic piece, but we educate the game of football, and we try to do our best, man. We have a free youth Little League coaches clinic in the spring, where we bring in those coaches and we give them breakfast and lunch, and we let them be a part of practice, and we do one-on-one clinics with them and stuff like that too. So there's just a lot of pieces that we're trying to bring into the community. But for me, I think the big aspect that we have to, understand as a community and as a people is we are not helping our players get better if we're promising them things that aren't in our control to promise. Yeah, you can only control the controllables, man. That's like me telling my son, hey, in 15 years, you're going to be a millionaire. I can kind of control that, but not really. You know what I'm saying?
No. Right. A whole lot of luck goes into that. Well, one thing that I want to, you're talking about is one thing I was thinking about is that you can do everything right. Right. You can run your route right, hit your break right. The ball can be on time, and the other team is allowed to make a play. And I see so many, not just parents, especially, or fans in general, not just parents, but fans in general, who get so mad when the other team makes a play. The other team just made a play. You can do everything right. But the other team, I know this is breaking news for a lot of sports fans, but the other team is allowed to make a play. As offensive as you may find them, the other team is allowed to make a play.
Yeah, that's another thing too. That's huge, right? For instance, we call let's just say we call a fade ball or a go ball, and it's play action, and the blocking was there, the fake was there, the defense went with it, the ball was a perfect ball. the receiver was in a great position. And the safety just made a play on it. He tipped it, and the corner caught it, and it's a pick. And it's the other team's ball, and everybody in the stands is like,
well, I wouldn't have called that.
Terrible call. And it's like, it's the worst call. And you're like, bro, like, we're playing against another team. I don't know if you know this. Like, there's another group out there trying to stop us from doing what we do.
Well, Josh, we open against Largo, and I know they're good. I mean, they've been a pretty good team the last couple of seasons. How do you think we fare against? I mean, I'm not trying to. If anyone's watching from Largo High School, I'm not trying to give away anything, but how do you think that we will come out and play against them in a couple weeks?
So that's a major team, man. It's a major team to open up the season with. Originally, Largo was just, a team down the road, and over the years has become a rival, just because our kids grow up together, they play together, and then they either go north of Almerton Road or south of Almerton Road. So you either go to Largo or you go to Pinellas Park. And so it's become a rivalry. Last year was the first time they beat us in about 7 matchups. So we still got the overhead on the matchups. Back in the day, they beat on us a little bit. But we're not going to talk about them. We're going to talk about the last 7. But coming into this year, man, look, we got to give respect where respect is due, right? They got some ballers over there. Darius Hayes, middle linebacker, going to Florida, just a stud. He gave us some problems last year, and you got Chase Green. I think he's an Iowa commit. They got some studs over there. They got some young guys who kind of match up with us. So I'm gonna give respect where respect is due. The only thing I'm gonna say on that is we're not the same team they played last year. So they had some hiccups at the end of the season. We're gonna hope that they start the way they ended, because they struggled a little bit at the end, whether it was injuries or whatever it was, and we're gonna try and capitalize on some things. It's gonna be a ball game though. It's at Pinellas Park. It's home opener. But I think, to be honest with you, it's hard-nosed football, man. It's Largo P. Park, man. It's becoming a thing. The Pack versus the Park, Patriots versus Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Our coaches have gone toe-to-toe in different aspects over the years. Our players have gone toe-to-toe. I got kids I coach that play over there. One of our coaches has his nephew and some other family members who play over there. So we'll probably all go out to eat after. But for about 4 quarters, we're going to get after it. And there's only going to be one winner. You're either going to be in blue and red, or you're going to be in blue and gold. And me, I'm gonna go ahead and rock with the Patriots. Pinellas Park, and go ahead and give us that. But I'm not going to downplay what they do by any means. It's not going to be a walkthrough either way. It's going to be one of those Friday night lights that are going to be talked about after. And it's going to set the tone for both of us because we got a long season ahead. We're in different districts. We got different things we got to do. But hopefully this next Friday coming up at Parish, not this Friday, the next, it'll kind of give us an idea of where we're at and where we're going into. That's why the Fall Classic's always cool, because you get a chance to see where you're at. Largo Packers, man. Week 1 at home. Bradley, you're announcing. We're kicking off the 2023 season against our rivals. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't have it any other way, man. If we got to be the villains, let's be it, man. Let's start off strong. It's set to be a good game.
The New England Patriots were like, the Cowboys are his team. The Patriots were America's nightmare. So, there you go. So there for a while with Tom and company were running all over the NFL. So if that's the case, and that's, I'm happy that I'm coming on as an announcer. If we're the villain, that's a good thing.
Man, I'm gonna be honest, man. We've been disrespected these last couple of weeks, and our kids aren't taking it lightly. Our coaches aren't taking it lightly. There's been some top 10 reports that have come out, and they got teams on there who haven't won more than 2 games in a few seasons. They got teams on there who haven't beat it. They got a team on there we beat by 40-plus points last year, and they put us in the comment section about how we're the sleeper team. Look, man, we'll be the sleeper. Just keep talking. All that is talk. Well, the way we operate at Pinellas Park is, man, you got to line up and you got to play 4 quarters of football. And at the end of 4 quarters, if you win, Well, then you did what you had to do to win. We're gonna go back to the drawing board. But if you lose, stop talking because we just shut it up.
Well, Max Preps has Northeast ahead of us, Josh. They got them ranked 31st in the state. We're 33rd in the state.
Hey, Bradley.
District, I mean. I'm sorry how that breaks down or whatever.
Hey, Bradley.
Hey,
Bradley. Hey, Bradley. You announced that game last year, right?
I did.
They were picked to beat us last year. What happened there?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the year before, they beat us. I ain't gonna lie. They beat us. But who won the district?
You guys did.
Oh, okay. I ain't even worried about it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
The man is nothing if he isn't a historian.
Adam, I'm just speaking facts, bro. Like all this talking and yapping about who did what and ranked what or whatever. You
don't put Baltimore.
Hey, you could be ranked whatever you want. Hey, you could rank them number one in the district, in the state, but they gonna have to play us at home.
We will see you on Friday night.
Saying, bro.
Well,
we defending the title. They trying to win one. It ain't no disrespect. I respect what they got going on. I honor them and everything else. Don't take it no wrong way. But I would tell them the same way I'm telling you. We the returning district champ. We don't want it back to back. They got to come take it from us.
And we're gonna run it back again.
Adam, tell them what's up, man. I'm not trying to win one. I'm trying to defend one.
You running it back. We running it back.
They trying to knock us off.
Josh makes a good point because they beat Northeast on their field. So now they got to come to the park.
You got to come to the house.
And they got to play the Pats at home. So that's a whole different ball of wax.
Hey, man. Yeah. Hey, Richard Allen Stadium, my guy.
Yep.
Win, lose, or draw. We're bringing it 100% all night. So you better show up with your pads on.
That's all I'm saying. Like all this talking and like they ranked and all this other stuff. Yo, you know who counts rankings? Losers. Losers count rankings because they're always worried about what position they're in to try and figure out how they can level up. If you're a winner, you just win and you keep moving forward. And if you lose one, you get back on the road, you try to win again. So man, I'm not going to talk rankings, man. They got us ranked 38th, 39th in the district. They could have us ranked butt naked last. They got us ranked bottom at the bottom of the barrel bowl in Pinellas County. Just put us at the bottom. Put us with the scraps and everything else. But I promise you one thing, come December, I want everybody to look back at all those predictions. Look back at all those conversations. But that ain't it.
And if we've done our jobs.
My man G-Dub from Texas, you know how it is. Hey, they talk trash in Texas, right, G-Dub?
What?
They talk trash in Texas, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
They talk trash, right? But guess what? Somebody got to win and somebody got to lose.
Yep.
Yeah.
This P-Park football, baby.
Speaking of rivalries, there's a big rivalry going on down here in Austin. It's LBJ versus Reagan. Every year since those two schools have been playing each other. That's been one rival game that always involved smack talk.
Look, Northeast wasn't even a rival. They just became a district rival. We used to have a rival. They were down the road. Okay. They were 5-10 minutes down the road. They were the over. I ain't gonna say no name. No need to worry about it. But matter of fact, forget it. We're gonna talk about it. We're talking football. Dixie Hollins was our rival. Dixie Hollins was our rival for a long time. And it got to the point where they stopped wanting to play us because they couldn't beat us. Let's just talk about it.
The Rebels.
They decided to change their schedule and do everything else, so they ran from a rivalry. Now we got rivalries from all around. We playing people from other cities. They want to be a rival, be a rival. You want to be a district rival, be a district. Make up whatever you want to make.
They changed names and slogans. Went from the Dixie Hollins Rebels to the Dixie. That's not even called Dixie anymore. It's called
Hollins High.
Hollins
High Royals.
They're the Royals now. Yeah,
they done got beat so bad they changed their identity. I'm just playing my bad. That's messed up. Let me stop. But I'm just saying, like, look, all I'm saying is this. At the end of the day, all of the social media stuff and all that stuff is talk, man. Somebody was commenting the other day. We released new uniforms. We worked our butt off. Coach was able to do some things. We got some new uniforms. All we did was create a little highlight video like everybody else. Nice little uniform. Man, we got people talk like people talking about new unis and the videos and all stuff. Don't worry about what we doing, bro. Just worry about when you line it up.
What we've done.
Right.
That's it.
When you're pulling our cleats out of your ass, you'll know where we've been and where we're going.
Like
The way, like I say,
Focus on my ass.
talk the talk. If you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk when it actually comes game time?
Yeah.
and that's the end of the thing. That's the thing with Pinellas Park. We don't even want to talk to you. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't even want to talk, man. Just walk the walk.
That's good.
Right.
Just walk the walk. Look, walk on the field and then walk back to the bus. Because that's what's gonna happen. That's what we're here to do. And there's some powerhouse teams in the county who run their mouth. But here's the reality. If you gotta go to other schools, to other places, to other teams, to other cities to get your players, then I'm questioning you as a coach. I'm just being real. I'm just going to question you as a coach because you could give us 17 janitors who ain't never played before. We're going to find a way to win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference. Caring about wanting to win.
That reminds me of my high school football coach because he always found a way to get us motivated for the games.
Well, I ain't got to motivate you. You know what you want. Let's go get it. Let's go get it. If you ain't motivated, then we can't work together because if I have to get you up, oh, it's gonna be a long day for you. Let's go.
You know,
you need to be ready. You need before you even show up to this locker room. You better be ready to go.
I don't know how y'all's head coach is, but our head coach was if one player missed the play, the whole team got penalized.
Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes it depends on what we're doing. It depends on the player. No, I'm just playing. Hey,
that's old. That's old school, though. That's the old school.
Like 30, for me, the issue is this, and like this is where I'm coming from. We as a community of sports people have to do a better job of not allowing outside individuals and agendas that don't know what's going on and have no idea opinionating and creating this soft bubble boy environment for what it is. If you're not trying to run through that dude to melt his brain, then go play a different sport. But I say that and they're like, coach, you shouldn't say melt his brain. Like, I'm like, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean?
It's a metaphor. I don't mean he ain't got heat vision.
Like,
come on, man.
What are you talking about, bro? What is this, X-Men? Like, I'm being shit. Like, come on, like, it's football. And so for me, like, what my whole goal is and what I like to share and what I want everybody to get from me coming across is the game of football is bigger than just football.
Yes.
Parents and community members need to be involved. Parents and community members need to support us. You know, that's like me. I'm getting real close to running for city government or something because we won't get no love at the high school. I'm like, we the only high school in the city. We winning district titles. They don't even put our schedule up on the billboard. Like, our mayor ain't never been to a game. So what is that? What is that? Say it again. Who said that's a shame? Say that again.
I said that's a shame.
I said if the mayor come to our game, nobody knows who she is.
Right.
We've had a winning program for 15 years straight.
Yeah.
We don't put dudes in Division I college. Lawrence Tafili is a starting back for Florida State University. Jordan Scott's playing for the Philadelphia Stars in USFL. We got 20 other players playing in college. She don't know none of our players. The city don't know what we got going on.
Who are gonna maybe they don't go on to be NFL players, but they're gonna go on to be professionals, have careers, doctors and lawyers, and
all I'm saying is that if you got a program in your city that's doing well, graduating kids, winning games, keeping kids out of trouble, mentoring them, uplifting them, encouraging them, and putting them off as from being children into being young men in the community, the least the city could do is support us just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I agree.
And so that's where I'm coming from. Like, that's why I took the opportunity to be on the platform tonight because, like I told Bradley, there's certain things that aren't talked about that need to be talked about. Like, here's the deal. If you ain't ever beat Pinellas Park, stop talking about Pinellas Park. You ain't never beat us.
Right.
Like, you over there yapping, but you ain't never beat us, so stop talking.
Right.
Because, like, it don't make no sense.
Right.
Like, and that's where I'm coming. We spend too much time talking about the next guy instead of worrying about what's going on. Look, some people don't like our head coach, right? Why don't they like our head coach? Because he's known for running up the score. I'm gonna be real with you. That's what he's known for. But it ain't running up the score. There's a difference. There's a difference. If I keep my starters in against your starters and backups, and I know you're a lesser team, you're not built that way, and we keep trying to score and throw and score, then that's running it up. But if you have your starters in and I put in my backups and we run a play and we score, it is what it is. You want us to not score? Then what are we playing football for? Number one. Number two, all these kids spent 4 days of practice working their butt off to get in the game on Friday to score. So why would I tell them not to score? You get 4 days to practice. We get 4 days to practice. You get 9 through 12 graders. I get 9 through 12 graders. Don't get mad because we develop them to score points and you don't. They're trying to score again. Yeah, because there's still a whole quarter left. That's like playing chess and not winning. Like, oh, you know what? I could checkmate you, but I'm just gonna hang out. What are we playing for?
The running back you said y'all had 262 yards on 30 carries.
Yeah, 33 carries, 262. Man, he's running for he's in a competition right now to get voted for number one back in the county coming back.
Is he a junior?
He's gonna be a junior, my guy.
Oh gosh, y'all got him another year.
Yeah, and there's only one senior on the O-line.
Well, let me make a point about what you're saying about run.
And our quarterback's a junior too.
Well, let me
returning senior to help out. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, let me make a point about running off the score. Okay, if I'm running up, is it running up the score or is it teaching them how to play ball? I mean, these are moments that you can't simulate in practice, my guy. You can't. You can simulate 32 from the 27 with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Regardless of what the score is, it's still 32 from the 27 with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And I want to run a play to help my players learn to be better. Sorry, but if it's running, sorry if you don't like it, stop me.
Yeah, like what am I supposed to do? Take a knee on 3rd and 2 with 8 minutes left? Like, no, I'm going to run to get the first down. If your linebacker missed the block because you don't hit in practice and we score, don't be mad at me. Like, I heard the other day that one of our schools, I'm not going to say no names because this is like too far left, but I heard the other day that there's a program in Pinellas County, and I heard it from a player who's on that team now, that not once all last season did they hit in practice. And then wonder why people put up 40-plus points a game against them. That's our fault.
You don't want to run with the big dogs. Don't get in the trenches, man. All I'm saying. I just get tired of people saying you're running up the score. Well, stop me. If you don't want me in your end zone, don't let me in.
Like, look, like it is what it. Did we say going into the game, hey, G-Dub, look, we're gonna give our running back 30-plus carries. We're gonna try. No, that wasn't the case. We were down 20-7. And we just said, hey, look, we're going to give our back the ball. We're going to pound these dudes up front. They were puking and throwing up with hands on their knees, and we were snapping the football. We were down blocking them, pinning and pulling and getting around the edge, and we scored. We made it 20-20 going to overtime. They didn't want to play overtime. We did. Whatever happened in overtime happened. Whatever. Who cares? It's a spring game. But at the end of the day, we went after it. 494 offense. One back had 33 carries for 262. Like, come on, man. What are we talking about?
You bring up a good point when you said that. Give it to your running back and let him pound it. That's a good thought. Make the defense try to beat y'all.
Yeah, straight up. Like, you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is, G-Dub? I don't know how it is in Texas, but a lot of dudes, and it ain't in all Florida, but in this county, man, a lot of these dudes like are emotional because they get out coached. And like, it just is what it is. Like, or your player just didn't make a play. Like, sometimes, like Adam said earlier, the kid just didn't make a play. Like, we have to remember that these kids are like still 16, 17 years old.
They learn.
Like, they're the type of kids that, like, if they wake up in the morning and their phone wasn't charged overnight and is dead, they got a terrible day. If they can't match their socks, it's a terrible day. If they can't find their gibbets for their Crocs, it's a terrible day. If their girlfriend's not going to be at school today, it's a terrible day. If their favorite cereal's not there, it's a terrible day. Like little stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like emotional wrecks.
Yeah.
They're 17 years old. They're supposed to be an emotional wreck.
Exactly. I was.
That's why Tom Brady's a rare. Tim Tebow's a rare. Like guys in high school who just dominate. Like Lamar Jackson. Like those guys they're rare breeds, and that's why they make it. Like that's what I'm saying.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah.
Down here, in Texas, they play smash mouth football. They run it down your throat.
Hey, get on the ball, run off the ball. That's how simple it is.
And for me, whether does it suck getting blown out? Does it suck getting beat 45-8 and just getting your brains beat in? Absolutely, it sucks. But you know what it does? It makes you a better person because next week you work a little bit harder. You work a little bit harder because you don't want to get beat like that.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I was going to say, how do you make you a better person when you get your ass kicked? I mean, your confidence is low coming from that game, so you figure, how could it be? Because 45-8, like, hey, we did horrible. How can that make us better? I mean, because we're low right now. Like, we need something to build up our. How do you build your confidence up from that? 45-8 or 65-2 or whatever the case may be. Because like, you leave the game like, oh boy, I'm so embarrassed. I mean, you feel low. So how do you pick up from that?
But that makes next week when you win 28-27 on a last second field goal, that makes that game so much sweeter. Yeah, I'll talk from personal experience. We lost to our rivals, and this is college football, not high school, but a Michigan guy, right? And we lost 8 years in a row. We couldn't beat our rival. 8 years in a row. And then 2021 rolled around, and finally, after 8 years of taking it on the chin, we got the job done. And I don't know I've never met a win sweeter.
And that's about as bad as Texas and Oklahoma. Every year they flip the wins.
Yeah, and that's the difference, man. I'm not that's the difference for us. Like, we ain't trying to flip flop. Like, if we flip flopping, then like it just didn't work out. Like, look, at the end of the day, like we're trying to get after it. Hey, unfortunately, you won't hear him at the home games because I'm kidding. I know exactly who that is.
Oh, you do?
Hey, he knows what time it is. Hey, listen, we're not trying to flip flop wins, man. Like I told Bradley earlier, it's no disrespect to Northeast. I hope they go 9-1.
And then that one
I hope everybody we play goes 9-1.
Right.
But I hope we go 10-0. Like, that's how simple it is. I hope all JVs go 6-1. I hope we go 8-0. Like, that's just the way it is, bro. Like, we're not trying to flip flop with nobody. Because here's the deal: like, people forget that it ain't just about the kids, bro. Like, I'm not coaching to go 0-10, bro. Like, I'm coaching to win some football game, bro. Like, I don't coach to suck. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, if that's what I wanted to do, I'd go play down the road. I already talked to you about those guys. Like, I mean,
and that's the thing, though, when you're talking about parents and not being involved or being overly involved or overly emotional on a Friday night. It's like, I'm not out here to suck. I didn't want that ball to be picked off, for Christ's sakes. No. But I mean, that just happens. Sometimes I made the wrong call. I was seeing something that I thought was going to work, and we worked on it in practice all week. And so we called double Z X right slot, and they had the slot covered. Quarterback missed it. Well, you know what? That's okay. Pull him aside. We'll talk to him. We'll be better on the next one.
I'll even go another stretch with you. Use that same play slot, but the quarterback heard slam because it's loud and everybody's yelling and the band's playing and all this other stuff. So he heard slam, so he handed it off, and it didn't work out. Why? Because he heard the wrong call. It just happens. Like, it just happens.
He didn't. He was expecting it. He was on a. He was thinking 3-step drop. So he got to this 3rd step and he fired the ball out there, but it was actually supposed to be a 5-step drop. and the receiver wasn't out of his break yet, and the ball's behind the receiver and it's picked off. I mean, that stuff happens. I mean, it's not like I wanted him to. I didn't go, oh, Jim Bob, you know what, on this play, why don't we throw it to the other team and see what happens?
The one thing I would encourage all parents and anyone watching, parent, guardian, coach, whatever, the one thing I would encourage is the 48-hour rule. Like whether you're mad, happy, excited, whatever, wait 48 hours before approaching the coach, especially the head coach, about whatever your situation is, man, because you're heated, the coach is heated, whether it was a win, lose, or draw, emotions are high, and that's just not the time to do it. Find the time to sit down with the coach after 48 hours, set a meeting up. I'm willing to say 90% of coaches I know are willing to sit down and have those conversations with parents. But on top of that as well, when you come in with the mindset ready to talk, not to just push your vision or your ideas, because I'm willing to bet you might be wrong. There's a lot of pieces you didn't see or know about.
Now, down in Florida, do y'all have, because I know here in Texas, they have that no pass, no play rule. Do y'all have it down there?
What does that mean? Like if you're ineligible, you don't play?
No, if you don't pass a class, you don't get to play.
Oh, that's not a rule. We have an eligibility rule. So if you don't have a 2.0 or higher, you can't play the game. And that's based on your quarter grades. So kind of the same thing, but I don't know if it's exact same thing.
That's probably the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar around the country.
I encourage all players and parents, keep your kids above a 2.3 because you need to have a 2.3 or higher to get cleared by the NCAA clearinghouse, or you're automatically thinking JUCO or not college ball at all.
Now, when y'all have a student that's failing to keep the grade point up, do y'all step in and try to help them bring it back up?
Yeah, so the cool thing is, man, we got guys on staff. Like, we got a couple coaches I refer to as our academic coordinators. They come in real handy. They spend time in after-school tutoring, summer school, and those kind of things, and really trying to do our best to help these kids out. A lot of resources at the school. Having a bunch of coaches on staff who are also able to be on staff at the school is huge too. That's another thing too. Like, I would encourage all administrations and all administrators, if they see this video, like, please, please, please support your head coaches by getting assistant coaches on campus. Like, that's the best thing you could do, especially in football. They have the most amount of players, and the best thing a head coach could have is 3 to 4, maybe 4 to 5, or in a perfect world, his entire staff working on campus, monitoring the kids, tracking the kids, building those relationships, checking in with them, and it just makes your school environment way better. Because the biggest program in all schools is football.
Our coach had an open door policy. No, he told us, I don't care what the problem is. If you need to talk to somebody, come find me. I'll be more than glad to listen.
Yeah, and we're all like that, man. Like I said, our head coach had some time at the college level, and so he understands the intricacies of the next level and what it takes to get there, and how you got to work as a high school student to get there. And I'll tell you what, he's very diligent about making sure we as coaches stay on track with our positions and making sure we do the right things. And so one thing I'll say is coaches are held accountable, so are the players, because if the coaches aren't held accountable, then the players can't be.
Yep.
Brad, you need to get the head coach on here.
I got to go through Josh. That's
No, dude. Listen, I brought it up to him one time, and I'm sure he might be willing to do it. It's going into football season, so it'd have to be a day where he's got some time, because I will tell you this, our head coach is a machine, man. Like, you get into football season, and if you're not talking football, he's probably not talking to you.
I got to meet him when I met Josh. I got to meet him, and he's a good guy, and he's exactly right. If we talked football the entire time I was in the locker room with them, so yeah.
Yeah, he's a family guy, man. He's got kids, 3 beautiful kids, and his wife involved in the medical field. And he's been around here for a few years. Started off as a young coach. He's from up north. Came down, young coach, worked under Ken Crawford. Was a head coach at Dunedin. Went to Toledo as a GA. Came down, was the Bogey head coach. Won a couple district titles there. and then took over for Ken Crawford about 2 years ago. And as an alumni and someone who was already on staff, being able to come in and step in as assistant head coach and continue to work with the O-line and continue to build the staff we already had there has just been great. And to, I'll tell you this, man, I don't know a lot of people who operate the way he does, and sometimes it's high intense, but it's the way it's got to be, man. It's kind of a little old school, a little new school, but we get after it, man. This is what it is.
So basically, he can sit there and talk football all day, every day.
Oh man, listen, the funniest moment I ever had, one of the funniest moments I ever had with this guy is we went to a professional team's practice. We're sitting, matter of fact, we're at the Bucs practice. I'm just keeping it real. And we're sitting at the Bucs practice. We're watching practice, and his son's at the fence and watching, Tom Brady run boot and throw to Gronk. And we're just sitting there. And then there's another drill, and it's a special teams drill, right? Like you're blocking, right, for the returner. And some like random person behind us was like, is this like a linebacker drill or like the guys are clearly blocking. Like they're clearly blocking for the returner. And he's like, is this a linebacker drill or what drill is it? Coach Smith was like, it's so hard to watch pro sports with people who don't know football. Like, what I mean?
Right.
And not in a bad way, but it was you just talking to me and we kind of laughed a little bit. But that's the truth, man. Like, that's a perfect example of individuals having opinions about stuff. I don't know what they're talking about. Like I couldn't get on this podcast and talk to you about pregnancy. I've never been pregnant. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, none of us can speak to pregnancy either. So,
but a lot of people would try and fake it till you make it. I'm not gonna fake it. If I don't know about it, I'm gonna tell you, look, I'm ignorant to that. I don't know about it. I'm educated about it. But so many people, like you said, have comments about what football should look like or how coaches should coach or how they should be. And it's like, man, you have no idea what it is to do what we do and to be successful at it. It's not that we're just doing it. We're trying to be successful at it. That's a whole different ballgame.
And you don't get to turn the sliders down in real life.
Exactly.
When you don't get to put the other team on rookie mode, You don't
get to quit halfway through because you're down 21-0. You know what I mean? Like,
you can't just.
That makes me mad. People sitting there watching the game, be like, "Oh well, I can call plays better than that, or I can coach better than that." Well, get out there and coach.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. There are some college games that I've watched in the past that I'm like, could have called some better plays than that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me I gotta say your beard game is on point. I will say that your beard game is on point.
Oh man, thank you. It's because I'm an island guy. You know what I'm saying? I spend time on it. It was longer. I'm growing it back out. It was longer. The key is to have kids. The key is to have kids who like pull on it, and so.
So let me ask you a question. Let's say you're a dad, right?
Yeah.
And you've got a 16 or a 15. Let's say you're a 13-year-old son, right? You got a 13-year-old son, getting him into the game, and you want to be more involved in the coaching. What can you do as a parent of a student athlete to get more involved and do not be that jackass on the sideline just screaming like you know what you're talking about?
Oh man, first and foremost, whatever sport you're getting your kid into, as they're getting coached, if you don't know the sport very much, you get coached. Like, be at practice. Hear what the coaches are saying. Hear what their coaches are telling your kids. Man, we have so much access to technology. Go on YouTube and watch a clinic. Oh, you heard your son's playing receiver? Go watch a receiver's clinic. There's 100,000 of them. Like, be as involved. If you want the kid to be successful in the game or sport or dance or music, whatever it is, you yourself have to be as involved in the sense of caring about their production as much as you want them to care. So first and foremost, get to know about whatever, even on the straight like basis of it, get to know something about what it is your kid's being involved in. The second thing is be approachable before you're disposable. And what I mean is, like, don't be that person that they're like, yo, I don't want to talk to you. Get off the fence like that. Like, that's the disposable part. Like, I don't want to deal with you. Be approachable in the sense of when you go talk to coach, don't ask questions like, why is he playing that? Or why did he do that? Like, no, get to know the coach. Maybe the coach's scheme is different. Maybe the coach operates different. Like, hey, coach, like what type of offense is this? Or, where can I learn more about what it is you're trying to do so I can better my kid at home? Or if your kid's playing little league sports, hey man, they always need volunteers. Get your volunteer clearance and talk to the coach and say, hey, look, I don't want to be a parent coach who's hands-on and telling you how to do it. I just want to help. How can I help? How can I be a part of the team?
Just like, talking to the head coach. You go talk to the defensive coordinator too. Be like, hey, coach, what defensive scheme are you going to be running? Are you going to be running a 3-4 or 4-3? Or you going to be changing them up?
Yeah, and some people don't even know what that means, though. Like, coach, what is defense? Like, you know what I mean? Like, 90% of coaches that I know will 100% be open to having a conversation with you about the game if you're trying to learn, just like the kid is. But it's how you do something. It's how you question or ask the coach certain things. Bradley, man, my time's coming a little short, man. I got to get over here to put the kids to sleep. But is there anything else you wanted to cover, my man? Is there anything else you needed from me?
No, Josh, it's been great.
You have to set up a return trip.
Absolutely, yeah. You'll definitely come back. Definitely come back.
Come back and let us know what Coach says about Brad mentioning the network.
Yeah, I definitely will, man. I definitely will. I'll get with Coach with that tomorrow when we get to practice. Guys, I want to thank you for your time and the opportunity. At the end of the day, don't forget about P Park football. The offensive line goes by the P Park gut. For all those guys who don't know the P Park gut, we try to run it up the gut. We're going to go downhill on you. So appreciate the time. Appreciate the opportunity, and look forward to talking to you guys again. Or if you're in the area, stop by a game. And shout out to Bradley, man, the new voice of the Patriots, man. Do your thing up there in a couple weeks, and we'll see how it goes, man.
Yep.
Bradley's gonna be perfect.
Yeah, he's gonna be great.
Yeah. His first game, he's gonna have a little bit of nerves, but after he gets that first one out of the way, he's gonna be like, okay.
Just give me a half. Give me a half of football. Once I get
you get one play. You get one play.
Second half will be.
I'll give you pregame. You get 30 minutes before pregame to do it.
Oh, I could do it then. I can do it.
Yeah, be like Coach. Be like Coach Boone out there in the locker room throwing up beforehand. Be all right.
There you go. He's gonna be out there.
Well, all right, guys. I appreciate your time, man. I'm gonna head out of here, man. Go P Park Patriots. You know what I'm saying? I got to do it. Again, shout out. Thank you for your time. And,
thank you for your time.
You guys later, man.
And that film is gonna watch itself.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. All right, guys. Well,
man, we just keep having awesome interviews, don't we?
We do.
I can. After this, if y'all stay on for a little bit, I got something I want to say, but I'm not going to say it on air.
Okay.
But did y'all hear about the Houston Texans part-time owner?
I did hear about that. Yeah. Yes, I did. I heard about what he did.
How stupid can you be?
Apparently, that's stupid.
He must have been hanging out with Dan Snyder.
That's the problem right there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, bad people just exist. You know, the only reason we know about him is because of his job, right? If he had been some 7-Eleven worker who had done what he had done, he would have just been another schmuck on the side of the road who was going to get 15 to life. I mean, you know, I saw a stat. Not to pivot, but to pivot. But I saw a stat about the Minnesota Vikings have had 47 arrests since 2000. So in 23 years, they've had 47 arrests. And I mean, the only reason we know about them, how many arrests has Walmart had of employees since 2000? I mean, you don't hear about the 7-Eleven worker who embezzled $1,000 from the cash register because it's irrelevant. The only reason you hear about the guy who the part owner of the Houston Texans is because he's relevant. If he had just been another schmuck, you'd have never heard about him. So I mean, I don't judge. I judge on the individual. Is it unfortunate that he was a part owner of the Texans? Yes, of course it is unfortunate. Was it an abuse of power? Definitely. Is it bad? Is it wrong? 100%. But if it was anybody else, you'd have never heard about it. And that's
Okay, I see Brad's got the WWE banner up.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
grab another. I'm gonna go grab another Coke real quick. I'll be right back.
There was a minor pay-per-view this past weekend, right?
Yeah.
Minor one.
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam? Yeah. I could say this. The pay-per-view was good up until that last match. That was it. It was good up to that point. I don't understand. I don't understand that. I mean, I heard a rumor that was going to happen. I just didn't think they were going to go through with it.
The rumor behind that is the reason why Jimmy attacked Jay is because Jay is not using his real name.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's basically saying that Jay is a fake.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He wants Jay to start using his real name, which is Jules, Jules.
Okay.
So, but that's just rumors. We will find out either tomorrow night or Monday night exactly what went down and why it went down.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought the whole pay-per-view was good. I thought the matches were all played out very well.
Now, the Ricochet and Logan Paul match, that was a good match until Logan Paul was handed the brass knuckles.
Correct. Correct. Yep.
And I still think that was Jake Paul that handed him brass knuckles.
How could he have done that when he was supposed to be in a boxing match in Vegas?
Hey, if you got the money and a private plane.
True. I mean, that's well.
When was SummerSlam? It was Saturday night, right?
Yes.
Vegas is 3 hours behind, so he would have time. He would have travel time to.
Yeah, but somebody would have said something about it. It wouldn't have gone on. No, they would have. They would have noticed him. They would have noticed him missing from Vegas. He was supposed to be in Vegas. He was supposed to be doing. He would have had to been in Vegas to do all of his pre-fight workup and.
Right.
It doesn't make. It doesn't unless they recorded the segment beforehand. But it makes no sense logistically.
They recorded the part where Jake Paul was at the fight,
right? And
just added it in, made it look like it was live, and he had time to get to Detroit.
Yeah, but then this is moon landing conspiracy theory stuff here. I'm sorry.
We all have our opinion on actually what happened, but which one?
I got a roll of tinfoil in there if you want me to make you a hat. You keep the duct tape handy for me, and I'll keep the tinfoil hat handy for you.
Oh goodness! Oh my goodness! Honestly, I think the best match was Rhodes and Lesnar. Lesnar beat the ever living shit out of him, and Cody kept getting up, coming for more of it. And the way I've never seen Brock break character, he broke character after that match was over. There's no way anyone in their God planet could have thought that he was going to do what he did to Cody Rhodes after the match, because he took his gloves off, and Cody's like, "Okay, he's coming at me," and Brock goes, "Nope." He extended his hand out for a handshake, and you're like, he's going to F5 him, like he's setting him up for an F5. He shook his hand. He pulled him in. He embraced him. And I think they had some words. He raised Cody's hand, went around the ring. And then as he was walking away, he kind of tipped his hat to him and he walked off. And I've never seen Brock break character ever.
Well,
he did after that match.
And I thought, just like you did, Brad, Cody's had it. He's out.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way he can come back. I mean, Brock was tossing him around the ring like he was a piece of paper.
Yeah, he's throwing him out of the ring, saying, "Stay down, kid. Get for a countout." He suplexed him 4 or 5 times and then threw him over the top rope. Okay, just stay down. Don't get back up. Cody kept coming right back. Yep.
He F5 Cody on the announce table.
Yeah.
And you see Cody laying there, and he's like, and you're like, oh, that's it, it's over. Then all of a sudden you see Cody get up.
Yeah.
Michael Cole told him to stay down. You heard Michael Cole say, Cody, just stay down. You're gonna cause damage. And he kept getting back up. And then he hit the crossroads. I think he hit it once, and that was it. He got Brock down, he hit the crossroads, and that was it. That was one of the better matches of the night that I thought I correct me if I'm wrong. Why wasn't Rhea Ripley or was Austin Theory not defending their titles? That I know why Owens and Zayn weren't, because Kevin's hurt. Why weren't those two
defending Theory has a match tomorrow night on SmackDown with Santos Escobar for the U.S. title.
Honestly, Gerald, you know who I think should win that title is LA Knight. I think LA Knight. He has gone from a heel to a face, and he's a fan favorite. Every time he comes out, yeah, and everyone says, yeah.
Well, he won the SummerSlam, right. The SummerSlam Battle Royal.
Correct.
So now, after what happens tomorrow, I think this is what's going to happen. They're going to see who's going to win the match between Austin Theory and Santos Escobar, and whoever wins that match, they're going to let Austin Theory, LA Knight, wrestle the winner out of those two.
I like that. Because I think LA Knight's on the rise. I think he'll be wearing gold somewhere. Somewhere he'll be wearing gold.
And Sonya Deville, she's out for a while with a torn ACL. That's going to require surgery. So her and Chelsea has to turn over the women's tag team championship.
Alexa, you're talking about oh yeah, correct. So they weren't on there either. And I thought the triple threat match for the women's title was pretty good. And I had a funny feeling that what's his name was going to cash, and she did, and she won. But I would have liked had Asuka won. And nothing against Bianca Belair, but I would have thought Asuka would have won, and they would have been a rivalry between those two as the belt went, something like that. But maybe that'll be that way. Who knows? That's how I looked at it. So.
Didn't I say don't be surprised if Io cashes it in at SummerSlam?
Yeah. Good for her. She deserves it too. She did it at the right time. I'm waiting. I want to know, when is Damian Priest going to cash his in? Is he waiting for Seth Rollins, or is he waiting for Roman Reigns? I'm curious on which belt he's going after.
I think he's waiting on either one. I think he's going, because he has a year to cash it in.
All right.
See, I would have thought they'd have handed the belt to Jay, and then Jay would have run with it for a little while, and Roman would have gone. Roman's a part-timer anyway. He would have gone away for a little while, and maybe Jimmy would, in a future match, disrupt Jay. He loses the title to, say, Damian Priest or somebody else, and that would have been the rivalry. The brothers fighting each other at that point.
Well,
we'll see.
There's tension in Judgment Day with Damian
correct.
Priest.
Yes,
Finn
correct.
Balor.
Right.
If you've seen it at SummerSlam, Damian Priest threw that case in to Finn Balor to use, but Finn took his time getting to the case.
Seth Rollins curb stomped
him. Seen Finn's head down and
curb stomped him. Yep.
And
you saw
the match.
You saw Damian's face. Yeah, he's like.
He looks over at Damian like, "You son of a."
Damian Priest is hooked. He's like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, seriously,
I handed you the belt.
Yeah, right there. You had it. You had the belt in your hand, and
you lost it.
You lost it, and so Yeah, I thought Gerald, all the matches were good. The Gunther match with Drew McIntyre was good.
Oh man, that was
a good match.
Those two big men, they took each other to the limits.
And then trying to think of, let's see, you had Rhodes, Lesnar, Reigns, Jay. That was the main event. Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca Belair.
Did you see that? In that Gunther and Drew match, did you see what both of them were beating the snot out of each other in the center of the ring?
Both of them had red chests after they left the ring.
They were standing there like,
yeah.
It's like they're punching.
Yeah, they were. That was an old fashioned slobber knocker match. They went back and forth with each other. And, the question I have now is who's going to take the belt away from him? It may be a while because what is it? He's got so many more days and he breaks the record. I think he's got the longest active Intercontinental streak. Gunther only has like 25 days and he breaks the record. So
Chad Gable won the Intercontinental.
I saw that. I just don't know how you put a small guy like Chad Gable in the ring with Gunther, who – even for his size, a big guy, he can move. He can go up top and jump. He can get down, in the trenches, and it's going to be hard for Chad Gable to win that match.
But Gable can handle his own, though. You see what he?
Oh yes, he can.
One of the Viking Raiders. He picked up on the Viking Raiders and slammed him.
Correct. No, Chad's an Olympic. He's an Olympic wrestler. He knows how to work the ring. He knows
how to use the momentum to help.
Correct. He's one of those guys who might be an underappreciated type of guy that the WWE needs to give more attention to. And Adam said this a lot too. The WWE has gotten away from their middle card talent. All they're worried about is who's got the belt and the factions. They're not worried about the middle guys who have to fill in those pay-per-views. I watch a YouTube channel. You guys remember Maven, the guy Maven, the wrestler?
Yeah.
Watch his YouTube channel because it's really cool to get an inside perspective on how much money he made, how he made it, how he was a mid-card guy. He goes, I never headlined a pay-per-view. I was a mid-card guy. And he goes, a lot of guys in the WWE and ladies are mid-card people. They're not mainstream guys. They're not John Cena. They're not Seth Rollins. They're the middle of the card guys that are just as good. I mean,
for example, Chad Gable, LA Knight.
Yeah, right.
But let me say,
those two are mid card guys, but I think they're good enough to move up to the main event.
Right.
Yes, correct.
But LA Knight is a borderline main eventer though. He's not a mid card guy anymore. He's a borderline main eventer. And the problem is that they have too many between the Usos and Judgment Day, and and that's it. I mean, LA Knight comes up every now and again, but who else do we have? I've never heard of Chad Gable. I mean, of course, you know who Braun Strowman is. You know who Drew McIntyre is because they're main event guys. The problem is that they don't have that depth that they need to be able to work multiple angles and work multiple guys in and out of angles at this current time. Where you can take a guy like a Gable, and he can go up there and he can challenge for a title once or twice a year. He can go win a belt off of Seth Rollins or off of Roman Reigns. And build that lower roster so that the WWE as a whole is stronger. And that's the problem is that's plagued the WWE since 2004.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with Brad. All those matches were good. I just didn't like the ending of that championship match with Roman.
Same here.
I think they could have done a better job.
There we go.
And selling it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Gerald, I have to ask this question. Because Roman screwed Solo, do you see Jay and Solo versus Jimmy and Roman? I kind of see that kind of happening now, where
I see
Solo
I see
Sikoa
Solo-
turns against Roman.
I see Solo joining up with Jay and Jimmy and Roman joining together. Because
I could see the next pay-per-view as a tag team match between those 4 guys. That's what I could see.
did you see when Roman speared Solo? Solo got back up and looked at him like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I think there's some tide changing with that crew. I could see that happening. Yeah.
You see that one part where Roman tells Solo,
3 years too late.
get Jay, and Solo just stood
Right.
there and looked at him like, no.
Yeah, no. Yep, exactly. And he goes,
Wow.
you're telling me no?
The part owner.
You're telling me no? He's like, yeah, I'm telling you no. I'm not doing it. So I'm interested to see tomorrow night on SmackDown how that breaks down. I want to hear what Jimmy has to say. What was Jimmy's point in screwing his brother out of a belt after he turned on Roman Reigns anyway?
That I heard was what I said.
The name thing. Okay.
The reason why Jimmy attacked Jay was because of using a fake name.
Gotcha.
It's a stage name, Dad.
Right.
But Jay's been using that name ever since the Usos started.
I was gonna say it was always Jimmy and Jay. It's always been Jimmy and Jay. Yeah.
Yeah, but why now all of a sudden Jimmy's got an issue with it? There's something else going on. But I swore up and down they would not break the Usos up.
I think they have
I
now.
felt that they needed to break the Usos up, and they needed to break up the bloodline for about 3 years now.
Yeah, but breaking up the Usos, that's going to hurt the tag team division.
Yeah, they said the same thing about the Rockers.
Speaking of a good
35.
tag team, see who's back together? The New Day. I'm so happy to see those guys back.
Oh, speaking of New Day, the doctors are telling Big E
Not to fight.
not to
Yep.
wrestle anymore.
Correct. I saw that the other day.
That's
Yep.
sad.
Yep.
But now he's talking about either becoming a commentator or sticking with the New Day as like a
Manager?
Manager.
like a manager or a mentor or something like that.
That sucks, because Big E was fun.
And
Hey,
it's so tough.
He had just won a title. He had won the heavyweight championship,
See, that's what I'm talking
Money
about.
in the Bank,
Injuries.
Yeah.
cashed it in, got his belt, and then he got hurt.
These
Yep.
freak injuries are,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the
Injuries are
injuries
hard.
are real.
he jumped, he did a backflip off the corner of the ring and landed wrong. And look what happened. Look what happened to Randy Orton.
Yeah, he's still not back.
He took a bad hit to the shoulder and he's not back yet.
Yep. Why don't we finish the show, gentlemen, with some NASCAR talk?
Okay.
Yeah.
Adam, did you hear that they fined the Stewart-Haas 00 team?
I heard something about that.
I didn't
Yeah.
get the full details. Did you?
No, I don't know what they got fined for. That's their Xfinity team.
But that doesn't look good for
No.
Stewart-Haas.
You can't do that, man. I mean, I don't know why they're playing so. There's no gray area anymore. There's no gray area. They took the gray area out and they filled it in with black. It is black and white. These are the rules. This is what you have to do. These are the parts you're gonna use. This is what it is now. And they're taking the gray area out of the rule book.
And we all know that these cars, they go through 2 inspections. They go through pre-race inspection and post-race inspection.
And they go through 4 inspections. And they go, you have pre-practice?
Yeah, so actually
You have the
3.
pre-practice inspection, and the pre-qualifying inspection.
So 4. 4 inspections.
And 2 on Sunday.
No, that NASCAR is
Right.
going to strictly go through these cars.
And not only that, but you go through the pre-practice inspection, the pre-qualifying inspection, the pre-race inspection, the post-race inspection, and they pick 5 cars at they pick 5 cars at random. They get sent off to R&D.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Adam, but take a guess on who wrote that comment.
It's gonna. Okay, is it Van Allen?
Negative. It's our former producer on the show.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Who would
Interesting.
that be?
Kevin Dixon. Just saying. He commented. I don't have any bad blood with him, but
Neither do I.
so yeah.
No.
So he
Well,
commented. So I appreciate that. I don't have anything against him. I just wanted to share that information with you guys that he commented about a call-in number. We don't have a call-in number, Kev.
We have a call-in link.
The link is on there if you want to come on here.
Drop you the link.
We'll get you on here. That's no problem. So
There's no, I don't have any bad blood against
Not at
him.
all.
I'm just sorry that it didn't work out.
yeah. Okay.
And
Sorry, but I didn't mean to
moving on.
I wanted to ask a question, but go ahead and finish your thought. I wanted to ask something that I read about for NASCAR.
No, that was kind of just kind of following, just kind of expanding on what Gerald was saying. Is that you're going to have at least 4 inspections on race weekends, plus the possibility of a random inspection. And NASCAR for the last 3 years has been super tight on the rules. And they've taken all the gray area where back in the day, if it was close enough, at a distance, a squint, hey, that's $25,000 fine, and we move on. It's serious. These fines are serious, and they're serious about it.
I wanted to ask Bud, and correct me if I'm wrong, I did read this. What happened to Noah Grayson being suspended? What happened with that whole debacle? I don't know. I only got the brief. I didn't read the article yet. So
I heard a little bit of it, but I didn't get the full rundown.
He fucked up, straight up.
okay.
He liked the bad tweet on Twitter, and he, as a public face, there's no gray area anymore. Kind of like the rules. I mean, there's no gray area, and if you like anything that's, he didn't get out in front of it. That's 3 things. He liked the bad tweet. He didn't get out in front of it, and he's not a very good cup level driver. And those are the 3 things that hurt him in this situation. And the problem is that he wasn't, he didn't have he wasn't a top 25, he wasn't a top 15 car week in and week out where they could go, take some sensitivity training, take a week off, and we'll see you back for the playoffs. He'd been struggling all year, wasn't running very well, wasn't very competitive, and so, yeah, he was never going to survive the tweet that he liked, just straight up. It wasn't a gray area where, it's offensive, but, we're in our super sensitive. No, it was not.
Okay.
It was not a good look.
I was curious because I didn't know how long, Josh was going to be on tonight. So I was putting together, stuff for us to talk about. And I haven't. So what I do, guys, is throughout the week, as I get to Wednesday, I'll start looking things up, Googling things and looking up news and reading articles and stuff on the NBA, NHL, MLB, NASCAR. Obviously, there'll be more football news as we draw closer to the, the preseason started Week 1 started tonight. I think Houston beat the Patriots 20-9. I think it just went final.
Just went final.
Yeah.
Final.
And
But,
then
I mean-
this game, we have Minnesota versus Seattle coming on after this one.
Yeah, so the season's getting closer. So, guys, in the near future, probably the last hour of the show will be college and pro football, as it has been for years on this show.
And
So the
don't
first hour, we'll have to go through everything.
forget our picks, too, for
Same with me.
Correct. We'll have to.
Yeah.
We'll go through all the picks and all that stuff too. But I was just curious, but on what happened with him, I thought maybe something that he did on the track. Did he?
No, it was on Twitter. No, he liked a really bad tweet on Twitter. Yeah, and it wasn't.
Okay.
He stuck his foot in his mouth and he can't get it out.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
What who does he race for? What team does he race for?
He was driving for the Legacy Motor Club. No,
Okay.
Well,
It used to be
he
Teddy-
was in the Infinity Series. He was driving for Junior Motorsports.
right. And
Right.
he used to. That
But
used
now
to be
he
the
came over to a Legacy to drive the number 42, I think.
42.
Yeah,
That
42.
team. That used to be the old Petty Evernham team. So what happened in 2008? Petty closed the doors and Ray Evernham bought all their stuff off and opened the doors back up as Evernham Petty Motorsports. And then when Dodge got out, Evernham got out, and it was just Petty Enterprises or Petty Motorsports, Petty Enterprises, whatever.
Petty
then-
Enterprises.
And then 2 years ago, GMS, they bought into that team. And then this year, Jimmy bought into that team. And then they changed the name to Legacy Motor Club because it's got Jimmy and Richard Petty involved. Jimmy Johnson and Richard Petty.
Okay. Yeah, I was just like I said, I saw that article pop up. And where are they racing at this weekend?
Indy.
Indianapolis. Okay.
Hey Lou, Kevin just asked us, did you tell us that you're on television now?
Say what?
Did Lou tell y'all he's on television?
Oh no.
Yes. We are.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Congratulations, Lou.
Yeah, that's cool, Lou. Absolutely.
It's been for a while now, actually.
Glad it worked out for you, bud.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call myself a star. Now let's not get carried away here. But it's on.
No, see, Lou, you're a star on the rise. You see,
Right.
how that-
Have your
you're a
autograph,
star on the
Lou?
rise.
Let's put it this way: I'm an overnight success. I'll put it to you that way.
Lou, can I have your autograph?
Well, if I make national television, yeah. But now, no. I tend to. So anyway, the thing is this: we're on a thing called. Where to go? Hold on a second. I have posted. We're on a different. This has been going on since late January, every February.
I'd rather call in. My hair is messed up.
You ain't gotta turn the camera on. You turn the camera off.
Yeah.
Well,
like
look at my hair. I don't have any, and I'm on
It's
here.
the same show I've been doing for the
I'm
past,
all sweaty and I'm on here.
Yeah, I said Adam's outside, man. I mean, he's in the elements.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it outside. I don't have enough weight. I don't feel like getting eaten by mosquitoes. And I'd lose 5 pounds of liquid standing outside right now. So yeah.
Down here right now,
So we've been on television since late January. Well,
at 5
the
minutes
network.
till 9
Yeah.
down here in Austin, and it's 97 degrees.
But the format still stays the same. I mean, it's still call in and everything. Nothing else has changed. Just our new setup. So it's nothing else has changed except that.
Right.
Awesome.
But
I've always wanted TV, and now I got it.
I think all of us, I don't know, I can't speak for the group, but I know back in the day, I wanted to be on ESPN.
Yeah.
Now I think I like this free form format where I don't ever want to be on regular television. I have no use for it.
Because when you're on regular TV, you have a script to follow.
Yes.
Yeah.
On here, we can be who we want.
And when you're a professional pioneer, you don't have to wear to.
And we can say what we want without anybody telling us, "Oh, well, you shouldn't have said that." That's not right.
Well, I like the fact that we can agree with each other.
Exactly.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. I mean, sometimes we disagree, but we disagree on principle and not because we're being told to disagree.
Right.
Just like there's some things that that Adam may say that I don't agree with.
Right.
And we can have,
at least we are adults. We can sit here and talk about it. I asked Adam, why don't you agree with what I said?
Well, and it's not just that, but it's not like we're not sitting in a green room an hour beforehand, and our producer comes in and gives me A and gives you B, and you got to argue B. Well, I have to argue A just because that's the way that the TV writers think it should go.
But then you figure it C and D. No.
Well, and then Gerald, we got four guys on the panel. So they give me A, they give Gerald B, they give Brad C, and they give Lou D, and our opinion is given to us, and we're supposed to, that's your opinion. You got to argue it. Even if I agree with Gerald, well, the script says, the copy says, I got to argue point A, regardless of whether I agree or disagree with what anyone else on this panel says, and I hate that.
But on here, we could, like if Adam says, well, he doesn't like the way that Chase Elliott's racing. I know he would never say that, but I'm just saying, and I'm like, okay, why? Why did you say that? And we can sit here.
I hate to bring this up, but we went through this about a month ago. You guys remember that show? I remember that show.
Oh, yeah.
You know what happened? That's what happens when you disagree on things that, that was a mess. That was a mess. I'm not even going to get into that, but that's a perfect example of that right there.
So that's the reason why,
but
there's a lot of times when y'all sitting there talking, I'm just sitting back like, okay, just stay calm. Listen to what they're saying before you react.
Yeah.
With that show a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, I had it up to here.
Dude, me and Adam were talking texting each other back and forth while we were live. And
you were talking to me too.
Yes, you too, Joe. Yes. The only one I wasn't talking to is Lou, and nothing against Lou. I just was I'm like, can we ask a question? Because it didn't seem like we could ask Bob anything. It was
no. And Alex, Bob couldn't put a word in edgewise.
Yeah. Alex talking, and then we'd ask, and then midway through Bob answering what questions we could ask, Alex would interrupt. And then that was it. And I'm not bringing that show back up because I deleted it. So,
I said,
I believe this is.
But I got to a point where I just had it. I had to.
Yeah, no, that was.
I believe this is what they technically call beating a dead horse.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But no, to my point, you can say, hey, Chase isn't racing real good right now. And you can say, oh, why do you think that? And I'm like, oh, because he's not racing well. He's averaging an 18th place finish over the last 6 weeks, and he's had 4 DNF. And I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then you don't have to be like, you don't have to go, well, no, I mean, he's got 2 wins in that, and you'd be like, yeah, no, he's not racing real good. We can agree on things. We can have a conversation. And Gerald can say something nice about the Cowboys, right? And he can he go on his spiel about how great the Cowboys are, as he's wanting to do, right? And I go, yeah, no, he's right. The Cowboys they've been playing great. that call on third down was brilliant. I really like what they're doing. I think they're. I don't have to go. I don't have to be the contrary. We don't have to be contrarians just for the sake of being contrarians, which is really nice.
Correct. Well,
Exactly.
gentlemen, shall we end the show there?
Sounds good to me.
Lou, go right ahead.
No, absolutely not.
Of course, before I break on the show, remember,
Do your
and
show.
before I go into that, I'll just remember one thing: that a horse, of course. So
I'm not
anyway,
kingdom for a horse.
yes, like Mr. Red. Okay, so anyway, the In Hand Sports Show, we keep rolling on. Saturdays 4 to 6 p.m. Everything remains the same, except that I'm camera now on TV. We will discuss more of the Women's World Cup, yes, including the upset over. We got upset by Sweden, unfortunately. We'll cover that. We'll also cover any trades left over from MLB as we go into the waiver movement now. So we'll cover that. Preseason football. I'm also going to touch on Little League baseball, and you'll understand why I'm going to do that because this is very special, especially to me. I'll explain it if you call in on Saturday. I hope you do. We'll also, of course, take care of the ridiculous sign of the week. I got two of them, or idiots of the week, if you may prefer. Of course, your thoughts and comments are always welcome. Sports trivia, this week in sports history, and the feel-good story of the week, which actually does tie in to the Little League baseball, sort of. So
his nephew's playing in it.
Yeah. So remember the number 512-543-4662. I'll repeat it again: 512-543-4662. Like I said, the Little League story is well, it kind of, let's just say it kind of hits home for me this week. So if you call in and find out, I'll explain why. I'm sure you'll understand. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, understand why. So on that note, good night.
All right, guys. Well, it has been another great show. Another great week of interviews. I think we've had 3 or 4 shows in a row that we've had awesome interviews. I want to thank Josh. Josh, not only I've known him for a long time, and I'm looking forward to a couple weeks from now. I'll be doing this show the day before the game, so I'm sure I'll be getting pretty psyched up about that. But thank him for coming on and kind of giving us some insight on Pinellas Park football. We had a bunch of people eyes on the show, man. I saw the little eye thing above me up to like 7 or 8 at one time. So everyone out there, thank you. Everyone that tuned in on Facebook and YouTube, thank you so much. We appreciate the love. That's what we do this show for. We just love coming out here and talking sports and kind of educating people and entertaining people. That's what we love to do every week. We will be back. I am officially moved out of Pinellas Park. I am now officially in Clearwater. So I got some unpacking to do over the next couple of days. When I do that, Lou, I'm going to send you your cards. I got them ready to go. So I got your address last week, so I'll get you those sent to you.
The right one, though, right?
The right one, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And until then, I want to thank the men and women of our armed services and our first responders. Thank you so much for doing what you do. We wouldn't be here without you guys. We'll be back next week. It'll be a normal show next week, guys. I don't have a guest line until like September. September.
No, December, August 31st, right?
August 31st. That's right. So we have 2 weeks, and then we have one at the end of the month. We have a baseball scout coming on at the end of the month. So I'm looking forward.
Let's talk about scheduling after the show because I have an idea.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Until then, guys, I am the sports reporter, Brad Walker. This has been the Walker Report. Thank you to funwags.com and creating Zen Spaces. Thank you to all the networks that cover us. Until then, guys, until next week, peace.
Got print, send it.
Good night.
Have a good one, Lou.